something is seriously wrong with Justin Bieber. In the past few months, he's gone from smiling pop icon to posting cryptic messages, hollow-eyed selfies, and snapping at fans with chilling sarcasm. The same Justin who once lit up stages now looks lost, withdrawn, and dangerously detached. But here's the part no one wants to talk about. This isn't just burnout, it isn't just a breakup or a bad week. Behind the awkward smiles and confusing posts lies a story of power, silence, and control, one that's been quietly unraveling for years. From the moment he vanished from tour to the bizarre video with Diddy that resurfaced online, fans started piecing it together. Now, the full picture is coming into focus, and it's darker than anyone imagined. He was handed millions, given fame, worshipped by the world, but behind closed doors, Justin was surrounded by silence, fear, and people who may have needed him, broken more than they needed him, okay? Today, we're exposing the timeline the industry wants you to forget, because when you connect the dots, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear. Justin Bieber has been trying to tell us something for years, and now it might be too late. It started with a photo, one that didn't feel right. Justin Bieber shirtless in a dimly lit room, staring blankly into the camera. His skin looked pale, his eyes empty. It wasn't a music teaser or a magazine shoot. It was raw, unfiltered, and disturbing. He followed it up with a series of cryptic captions. "Don't believe everything you see." Transactional love is exhausting. And then, just days later, fans begged him to get help. His response? Cold. "Worry about yourself, Gramps." That one comment sent shockwaves across social media. This wasn't the Justin fans grew up with. Something had changed. He looked disconnected, emotionally drained, and, according to those close to him, completely unmoored. But the most alarming part? These weren't isolated incidents. They were signals. A slow unraveling that no one around him seemed willing or able to stop. While some brushed it off as stress, others saw it for what it really was, a cry for help. And once fans started digging, the real story started to emerge. Behind every filtered photo and blurry stage clip was a truth no one wanted to say out loud. Justin Bieber was unraveling. Sources close to him began speaking anonymously. One described him as lost. Another said he didn't have anyone left in his life who could say the word no. Surrounded by enablers, isolated from reality, and buried under the weight of his own fame, Justin wasn't just distant. He was emotionally collapsing in plain sight. And while the world clung to images of the old Justin, the one with Grammys, tour buses, and stadium lights, his wife Hailey was charting a completely different course. Her skincare brand, Rhode, had just been valued at nearly $1 billion. But as her success skyrocketed, Justin's presence dimmed. Fewer appearances, more cryptic posts, and a look in his eyes that said everything he wasn't. To outsiders, it looked like a marriage on two separate tracks, one partner ascending, while the other drifted deeper into confusion and silence. The balance was breaking, and beneath it all was a terrifying pattern. Justin wasn't spiraling because of a single event. He was disappearing because the system built around him was never designed to protect him. And that's when the past came crashing back in, because just as his present started to fall apart, a haunting video from his past resurfaced and set the internet on fire. Then came the video, grainy, awkward, and years old, but deeply unsettling. A teenage Justin Bieber, barely 15, is seen beside Sean Diddy Combs. The clip shows Diddy saying he would be taking care of Justin for the next 48 hours. He smiles. Justin stays quiet. At the time, no one blinked. But in 2024, with federal raids on Diddy's homes and trafficking allegations swirling, the video took on a disturbing new context. It resurfaced across TikTok and X, igniting conspiracy theories and panic. People began to ask the question out loud, was Justin a victim? The speculation spread like wildfire. Headlines popped up, Reddit threads exploded. But then, just as quickly, his team stepped in. A rep issued a clear statement. Justin Bieber is not connected to any of Diddy's alleged crimes. No involvement, no victimhood. But here's what set fans on edge. They didn't deny the relationship. They didn't explain what happened during those 48 hours. They only distanced him from the current accusations, and in an era where silence often screams louder than words, it left more questions than answers. Because while the internet fixated on the resurfaced footage, few were paying attention to what Justin had already walked away from. For years, Scooter Braun wasn't just Justin Bieber's manager. He was his protector, his mentor, and the man who discovered him. Their bond was legendary. Justin even called him a second father, but suddenly, without warning, it was over. No statement, no tribute, just silence. Industry insiders were stunned. After more than a decade together, Justin parted ways with Scooter Braun in 2023. The man who helped build his career from YouTube videos to world tours was suddenly erased from his inner circle. But the story doesn't end there. It came out later that Scooter had quietly loaned Justin over $8 million just a year earlier. Not as an investment, but reportedly to help Justin stay financially afloat after canceling his tour. That same year, Justin sold his music catalog for $200 million, a move many saw as a desperate attempt to regain control or cash out of something he no longer believed in. To fans, it was heartbreaking. To skeptics, it was alarming. Why would someone walk away from the one person who always fought for them? Why the sudden distance? And why the money? What happened behind the scenes may never be fully known, but the timing couldn't be ignored, because just as Justin cut ties with Scooter, he was falling deeper into another kind of control. And that control wasn't coming from a label or a manager. It was coming from someone Justin called his spiritual guide. After cutting ties with Scooter Braun, Justin Bieber didn't disappear. He got quieter. And the one person who seemed to rise in influence during that silence, Pastor Judah Smith. Justin had always leaned into faith, but lately, friends began noticing something different. Reports surfaced of Bieber spending nearly all his free time with Judah. Constant church attendance, one-on-one sessions, and a level of loyalty that felt extreme. Some friends called it inspiring, others creepy. Insiders told reporters that people in Justin's inner circle began referring to Smith's influence as cult-like. They claimed Justin was shutting out longtime friends. He became more emotionally dependent, more isolated, and more insistent that Judah was the only voice he trusted. Even Haley, according to one report, grew concerned about how much control Judah had over Justin's decisions. To outsiders, it looked like faith, but to those paying closer attention, it looked like surrender. And while Judah Smith's teachings publicly promote love, grace, and peace, behind the curtain, it seemed like Justin was becoming more withdrawn, more obedient, and less himself. But if spiritual control was tightening its grip, his marriage was starting to slip through the cracks, because while Justin buried himself in prayer and silence, Haley's voice and presence started to vanish too. While Justin's behavior raised alarms, Haley Baldwin Bieber kept her distance, publicly and emotionally. Her skincare brand, Rhode, was exploding. Valued at nearly $1 billion, Haley was stepping deeper into the world of business, fashion, and brand deals. And as her empire grew, her husband became quieter, more withdrawn. The gap between them wasn't just emotional, it was visible. Fans noticed it immediately. Fewer couple photos, awkward body language in public, long stretches without being seen together. And when Justin did post about her, it often felt one-sided. Emotional outbursts paired with Haley's calculated silence. Rumors swirled. Was she protecting him? Was she over it? Was their marriage built more on image than intimacy? In interviews, Haley avoided questions about Justin's mental health. Even when fans openly begged her to help him, she said nothing. To some, that silence was strength. To others, it felt like detachment. One viral clip from a red carpet showed Justin storming past her, clearly agitated, while Haley kept smiling for the cameras. It left fans torn. Was she staying strong, or was she done? Whatever the answer, the emotional distance between them became undeniable. And behind all of this, the photos, the silence, the cryptic messages, Justin still hadn't said what he was really going through. But maybe he didn't have to, because when you line up the clues, the timeline, and the people, one thing becomes painfully clear. Justin Bieber has been unmasking the truth. one breakdown at a time. The signs have been there all along. The hollow eyes in his selfies, the cryptic messages, the sudden distance from Scooter Braun, the haunting resurfaced video with Diddy, the silence from Haley, the unwavering devotion to a pastor many now question. Piece by piece, the mask has been slipping, and yet, somehow, the world still isn't listening. Justin Bieber isn't the carefree teen idol we once knew. He's not the headline-grabbing rebel of his early 20s. What we're seeing now is a man unraveling under pressure most people can't even begin to comprehend. Fame gave him everything: money, power, global love, but it also cost him control, peace, and maybe even himself. His team says he's fine, that there's no scandal, that he's just being Justin. But when someone starts looking this lost, this disconnected from reality, you don't ignore it. You look deeper. You ask the hard questions, because maybe Justin hasn't been trying to shock us. Maybe he's been trying to warn us, and now, as he slips further behind the spotlight, surrounded by silence, mystery, and unanswered questions, we're left wondering, did we fail Justin Bieber? Or did the industry design it that way from the start?